Hey everyone, this is kind of it. I am waiting my turn to get in the shower, and then I'm going to get cleaned up and go to sleep, and I will be up at like 4:30, I think, so that I can get all packed up and get a cab and get to the hospital in time to get registered, and so that I'm there at 6 o'clock. So then I can have my surgery, and then holy shit, this is it's like a whole new thing is beginning at that point, but it certainly feels like a pretty big milestone in the journey. Um, so I'm actually super exhausted. I had to work yesterday during the day, and I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, and then I had to work last night, so I didn't get to bed until 3:30, and then I woke up at 5:30 so I could get on a plane out of Chicago to New York, and then I have been running all over the place. So we went to we had to go to, I had a doctor's appointment at 1:45. Then I had labs and blood work at 3. Somewhere in the meantime, we stopped to get food that we ended up never eating just because we didn't have time. And ended up giving it to uh, some folks on the street. Because then we went to dinner at the Flying Cock, which honestly, I just think that's so fucking funny. Um, I was looking at the hospital. It's at NYU Medical Center, and I was looking at it on Google Maps and trying to find out what was close by and where I was looking for hotels and that kind of thing. And I saw the Flying Cock show up, and I was just so tickled at the whole idea. And I looked at it, and it's a little pub, and it's like a brew pub. Um, and it was really cool people, really decent food, and I got a flag, and a cute little story. Um, and more people found that funny than I made another joke on Facebook that didn't get the same kind of response. I was talking about getting ready to trade my Peterbilt in for a Volvo, which I think is hilarious, but clearly I'm the only one. But yeah, so I've been all over the place. There was a moment of panic because during my appointment, my pre-op appointment, the the doctor asked me if I had my surgical clearance, which is the form from my primary care physician saying that I am healthy and have no health problems that would prohibit me from undergoing surgery. And I froze because not only did I not have this form that he needed in order to, authorize the surgery, and without which the surgery would not happen, I had the blank copy with me because I completely just forgotten all about it after my first pre-op appointment 4 months ago. And I never made the appointment with my primary care physician, and so I was going into, a very tightly controlled panic, at which point I called Howard Brown Health Center, which is where I go in Chicago, and they're really fantastic. And while I was on the phone with the nurse, she was talking to my physician and explaining the situation, and my doctor was writing the note that she was going to then fax to my surgeon's office so that this could still go forward tomorrow. And it all happened within about 40 minutes, and it was just so fast. But so, big credit to Howard Brown Health Center. I'm always a big advocate for them. I know other people have different experiences with them, but they've always treated me really well, and a lot of people that I know they treated really well. So that got straightened out, and then I had to pay a whole lot of money because while this is covered under insurance, I still have a deductible and out-of-pocket maximum, and it would have been really great to have this about 3 months ago when it would have been under my previous out-of-pocket, but c'est la vie, so here we are. But I've blown through my FSA for the whole year, and I still haven't hit my out-of-pocket, and it's a lot. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. And I'm fine, to be clear. I have an okay job, and I can, take care of it. But yeah, this is where we are. So it is now it is 9:34 p.m. Eastern, and I have to be there at 6. So now I'm looking at 9 hours from now. Less than 9 hours. That's crazy. Sorry, that's wild. I cannot believe it's here. I'm really overwhelmed, and I'm still kind of in disbelief that this is going to happen. So I think tomorrow when I wake up from the surgery and it's all done, I might have a little bit more difficult time believing it, just because it seemed like this was never going to happen. And yet here we are. So thank you to everyone who has been watching and following along on various social media that I've been posting this on, Twitter and Facebook, and leaving comments and sending me encouraging notes. And I really appreciate it. I super appreciate it from all of you. And if I haven't sent you a response back, or if I haven't interacted with your note, please know that I've seen it. I just have been so busy today that I have not had the opportunity, and tomorrow is not looking good either, as far as responsiveness. So I will try to reach back out to you once I've sort of regained some kind of equilibrium, but today is not that day, and tomorrow is not looking good either. So yeah, so I don't even know what to say. This is just so much. And, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have told you that this wasn't even something that I wanted. But that was as much because I didn't think it was something I could have. Because prior to ACA going into effect in 2014, almost no insurances covered this in the US because they didn't have to. In fact, most insurances had a rider specifically saying that trans healthcare was prohibited. So it wasn't just that we weren't covered well, it's that we were explicitly not covered. And some insurances had started to change. The Human Rights Campaign started evaluating corporations for equality index, and required, in order to get 100%, that you needed to have trans healthcare coverage, and they started doing that in 2012, I think, maybe 2011. So that was starting to make a difference, and then ACA came along and mandated coverage, and that has changed a lot of people's lives. And it was only then that it became sort of a vague possibility for me, and I had to contend with the fact that now that it's possible, do I want this? Because that easy denial of, well, it just doesn't matter, I can't afford it anyway, went away. And it's been a number of years to get from there to here. I started this journey, I made my first phone call to my doctor in April of 2017, and it's now February of 2019, almost March. It's a long road and a long process, and it was a long road just to get to make that first phone call. And a lot of you have been here with me the whole way, and I really appreciate that. And I've changed a lot since my first video went up in 2010, and I know that. And I hope that the changes, like the way that I've changed, hasn't alienated anybody, and I can't really fix it if it has, but you guys have supported me as I've supported you, and I really appreciate that. So this will be my last video until, maybe I'll make one tomorrow when I get to the hospital before I go in, but this is the last one until, this is for sure, I'm posting this one, so there's a possible one more, but this is probably it until after surgery is done. So thank you all so much.